As Christians all over the world mark this year's Easter, which signifies the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ, President Muhammadu Buhari, governors and leaders have called for unity in their Easter messages, especially as it comes about 8 months to the 2023 general elections. However, the Christian Association of Nigeria, Kaduna State Chapter, has said that Nigerians are thirsty as a result of the bad economy under the current regime of President Muhammadu Buhari. The association therefore appealed to Buhari to provide succour for Nigerians, just as Jesus Christ was provided with vinegar while on the cross. The CAN leader urged the citizens to be one another's keeper by contributing meaningfully to national growth and be actively involved in supporting and quenching the thirst of their neighbours, friends, and the less privileged around them. He further stated that Nigerians are groaning under the yoke, hike in food prices, transportation, and insecurity. Joining us now from Abuja studio is Reverend Joseph Hayab, Chairman, Kaduna State Christian Association of Nigeria, and Vice Chairman of CAN, Northern States and Abuja. Good morning, and thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you, too, for having me. Good morning, Nigerians, and happy Easter to all of us.
Well, same to you, Reverend. Thank you for joining us. Well, you've been quoted as saying that Nigerians are thirsty and that what we need is cold water. Well, if you may just explain that further, although Tundu already in the introduction gave an indication of what you mean, the hardship in the land. But why the analogy that we are thirsty and what we need is cold water? Why not still water, room temperature?
Well, many things happen in the week of Easter. The Bible recorded that on the cross of Calvary, Jesus in pains cried out loud and said, I am thirsty, in John chapter 19, verse 28. And Jesus, being human on the cross, cried out that he is thirsty. It's just the same as the pains, the agony, the challenges Nigerians are facing, and they are crying out from the north to the south, from the south to the east, west, and every corner. People are crying out that we are thirsty. We are thirsty because there is no good governance. We are thirsty because economic is hard. We are thirsty because insecurity has taken over our land. We are thirsty because our children do not have jobs. We are thirsty because all the promises we were made to, that was given to us, we cannot see them. We are thirsty because our children are home. They've not been in school for months. So we are thirsty for so many reasons. But you see, the soldiers that were guarding Jesus on the cross, who naturally would have preferred he died, show concern and offer something to quench his thirst. And I wonder, do we have leaders in this country who really care about those who voted for them, who really care about the pains people are going through, who are listening to the cries of people every day? People are crying. What are they doing to bring about succour? Or they just don't care, or they don't have a listening ear, or they don't pay attention to the cry. Because any day and every time you on your television, you read the pages of newspaper, what you hear from Nigeria, including those who are in government, people are crying. Things are not going on well. And nothing seems to be happening. The fact about it is that what we hear and see every day is someone coming to defend and tell us what ordinarily we cannot believe, whether he lives in this country or he's living in the moon. And he's telling us that all is well. Well, all is not well. And that's why we are praying that if in the spirit of this season we want to really emulate what happened at Easter, then one of our appeals to our government and to all people is, let's attend to those who are crying that they are thirsty. They shouldn't die of thirst. Some succour should be given to them. And what is that succour? Government should come back to our senses and do what is right. Nigerians love everybody, and Nigerians have always respected their government, even including good and bad government. One thing I can give credit to Nigerians is that we celebrate our leaders, but our leaders seem to be abusing the celebration, and they don't care about us. They don't show concern about us. Instead, they are doing what is not when people are crying.
Right. You were careful to be fair and allude or make reference to the failures of successive administrations, rather than singling the current administration out for criticism. However, any sort of attempt at fairness has never in the past stopped a pattern that we've seen of stinging rebuttals being issued by the presidency whenever the clergy criticizes them. So what kind of response have you had so far, either from the presidency or the state government, if any?
Well, I don't react to them to ask for their response back. I react to what is going on because I want to see change in Nigeria. What the Christian Association is interested is that we want to see change in Nigeria. We are not in the context of who said this and who said that. If we ask them and we told them that people are thirsty and they act in accordance and provide water that will quench the thirst of the people, we are happy. We don't want to go into a competition. I think one of the reasons why we are where we are today, especially in my state, is because there was a time our leader who's supposed to concentrate on acting and leading us, listening to our cry and acting according to our cry, wanted to be exchanging words with us and exchanging words with different groups. And I think the criminals in our land just realized that, oh, we've gotten a good person who will do PR for us, then we continue to do our evil. So I encourage this government not to go into exchange of words, but listen. We love this country. It is, see, I'm not sure that those who are in the villa or in government houses love this country the way we love this country, because they can travel. We don't travel. We are always here. The kind of cry we receive from our members every night. Sometimes when there is attack in Kaduna or there are attacks in Kaduna, I cannot sleep. People will be calling as if I have the magic to stop it. Hey, they are coming. What will I do? The best I can do is to calm them down, to encourage them, and probably call those who are directly responsible for enforcing security measures to do it. And sometimes you even call and nothing happens. So we are not in the competition of you said this and they respond to you. We tell them what we know and what people are doing and let them act. I'm sorry, because of the question you asked, there was this time I cried out about issues in Kaduna State, and the then Commissioner of Police invited me to his office and with all his tough men, and they were busy trying to attack us as if we were raising alarms. But I'm happy that one out of all the other officers just stood up and said, sir, can we pay attention to these people? They are closer to the people. They know crimes committed in this state that we don't know. So when we listen to them, we'll be able to arrest most of these crimes. But when we don't listen to them, we'll be in problem. We'll be assuming we know, we don't know. And I'm happy that he reasoned with him. But there are other leaders who feel there's no way to listen to them. Why are they complaining? We are not complaining because we want to come and take over power. We are not complaining because we're interested in your office. We are complaining because we want to see the best happen in Nigeria.
Okay, let's dial back a bit. So was it based on the interview you did here as regards the Baptist boys that were kidnapped that the police commissioner in Kaduna State called you? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, I've made so many interviews. I don't want to be specific. I've made so many interviews. I don't know what troubles them. Let's leave it at that level. I've said so many things in Nigeria to Nigerians and to leaders because I want the best for my country. I want to be proud that I belong to this country. I don't want anybody out there to look down on us. And so when I cry out, I'm speaking for my love for this country.
Okay.
I don't want to be specific to which one.
Okay. So we'd like to ask you, what would you call, cold water here that'll quench the thirst? What are the specific things that you call cold water?
Well, you do know that when someone is thirsty, he is in a state of discomfort. He needs water. And to our local minds here, water that quenches thirst is a cold water. Even our parents who never had freezers or fridge had a local way that they had cold water to quench thirst of travelers who were passing through and when they come back from farm. And so the analogy simply is to say that, look, people are in pains, people are troubled, people are worried, people are concerned. Look at the recent happening in Kaduna, the trend that was attacked. Many people were taken to the bush. At the beginning, the kind of stories we were hearing was not a clear story, as if nobody. But gradually, when we started walking, then we knew that a lot of people were taken out there. We can't even count their numbers. But the bandits also came out courageously without fear. And they were saying that they are not looking for money. Government knows what they are looking for. Some of us ask questions, wait a minute, what exactly are these bandits saying that government knows what they are looking for? Don't we as Nigerians have the right to know? Why should they hold citizens, innocent citizens, to ransom for what the citizens don't even know anything about? But government have not even come out to explain to us. These and many others are part of the task. But you also know that the economic of this country has fallen. Today, the exchange rate of naira to a dollar is over 585 naira. What? Where are we going to? That means we can't even buy anything with $1 in Nigeria. How can the woman frying akara on the roadside survive? How can the other woman who is roasting maize, who is roasting yam, survive? Because when you begin to talk about this reality, look at those people whose survival is hinged on local things. Where will they get the money? And there is really nothing. So many people within the last few years have lost jobs in this country. In my state, over a year, over 1,000 or 3,000 people were employed or recruited as teachers. So teachers were sacked, and the claim was that we are going to recruit other teachers. Over 7,000 people were recruited as teachers. As I speak, this is almost one calendar year, 12 months. None of those teachers have ever been paid salary. They have never been posted anywhere. So the story out there is people are really in pains. So some of the whole whitewash that we come to the TV and say, it's not the truth. How could someone that have been offered appointment for one calendar year have not been posted, have not been paid? Now he cannot go seeking for a new job. He is now just tied down in one place. Some of them within the period of 1 year. I can name them who have even died. What kind of life is this? So Nigerians are really thirsty. They are hungry. They are in pains. I can't even understand how to explain the pains Nigerians are. But for us local leaders who work with the local community every day, we understand what they are crying. And they see that in this same time that they are in pains, people are living in affluence, spending money as if the money just comes from the grass. What about other citizens? Don't they have right to better life? So that's why we are saying, since we celebrate Easter and remember the agony Jesus Christ went through, and one of it was, he was thirsty. And in his thirst, he cried out. And because he cried out, even wicked soldiers attended to him. How could leaders who swore by Quran and Bible to protect us don't have the heart to cry to attend to us when we cry? I think something is wrong with the psyche of those who are leading Nigerians.
Well, Reverend, the governor of Kaduna State, where you are based, has suggested the use of mercenaries. He has also called on the Nigerian military, knowing the location of these terrorists, to just go there and flush them out, whatever collateral damage that may bring about. But why do you think that Kaduna is a special target for terrorists? I know that this challenge is nationwide, but Kaduna seems to be a special target. Why do you think that is so?
Let me begin with the first question. I must say that there's something that I've seen happening, a pattern of lying, but without necessarily going with a lie, using one truth and ice it with 1 million lies. I think sometimes when our leaders want to speak, they don't speak, they want to lie, mislead Nigerians, but they don't just go and lie. What they do is that they bring one small truth and ice it with 1 million lies. If you are not careful, you would think that that is the right thing and you will jump for it without knowing that you've just been fooled into it. Let's put the issue of the military or the security agencies
where they are. Are you saying that the governor...
It is not...
Are you saying that the governor of Kaduna
I'm coming. It is not...
lying?
He mixed up his stories with facts and lies. I must say this without contradiction. He mixed up his stories with facts and distortion. So you don't know, you find it difficult to separate them because you think they are true, but they are just a distortion. And I want to give quick example. The example is with the issue of the security agencies are where bandits are. It is a known fact that we have equipment that we know where the bandits are. But when we begin to cry out about these bandits many times ago, instead of this same governor allowing the security agencies to go after them, he even said that, look, the best way to do, and there was no better option at that time for him, was to him to give them money. He did not just give them money in Nigeria. He sent that, or he followed them outside this country and gave them money. If you had given them money and they have used the money to purchase more weapons, why are you coming back now and ask people to bomb them? That even leads quickly to your second question. When you say why Kaduna, Kaduna is for many reasons. Number one, deliberately, these criminals, these terrorists, these bandits, whatever title you call them, are targeting Kaduna because of the many security structures. They want to show Nigerians that, look, with all the security structures in Nigeria, we can still target in Kaduna, we can still hit that state and nothing is happening. That means we are in charge and nothing will happen. They have reached homes, they've gone to schools, they've gone to church, they've gone to mosques, they've been to NDA, they've been to airport, they've been to the train station. So what else will you tell them that they cannot attempt? That is one point they want to prove. And number two, these bandits also realize that we are being led by rhetoric. What we hear on television by our governor is not real. So they know that even when he said that they should bomb them, it ends in that television interview because it will not happen. So they have tested it. It's not 1 year. Nigerians have quickly forgotten that just on the eve of election in 2019, this same governor just came out overnight and said something to scatter the election and confuse the state. And he got his way that time. But you see, these bandits were just regrouping and grooming and say, hey, wait a minute, we've gotten a new spokesman, we've gotten a new defender, and they have start terrorizing. Now the same person who had been accusing others because of them is coming to attack them. They'll look at him as a joker.
Oh, dear. Well, it does appear that the die is cast. That's why we're in this situation. But going forward, we have an election around the corner next year, 2023, and that hopefully represents a chance, to start afresh. What should we do as the followers? You've talked about the leaders. What do the followers do? You've talked about the huge gulf that exists right now between the leaders and the followers, such that they don't feel our pain. What should we be looking forward to? What should we be looking out for, especially during this campaign period, when a lot of the talking points so far still seem to center around individuals' ambitions rather than what they can do to serve us?
Well, that's what they are doing. But I think we too have our role and what to do. And we've already started doing that. What we are doing now is to connect with people across the state, across the country. I think our political class deliberately have divided us so that they will always come and run amidst of us when we are busy fighting with one another and have their way. What we want to do and what we are doing now is to bridge the gap. I don't see anybody in North Kaduna as my enemy or a Muslim as my enemy or someone who does not belong to my Ham tribe as my enemy. No. I see the man who all of us gave him mandate to lead us and refused to lead us as the one who is our enemy, who has refused to show us love, who has refused to discharge his duty. So what we need to do is to work with people across divide, because the division in our state, even in the way we live, Kaduna is highly segregated. The fact about it is that when you go to the north of Kaduna, in some part of it, you will just assume as if it is an exclusive one religious place. When you go to the south, it's the same thing. What we want to do, what we've been doing these days, is to work among different groups, with youth, with women, with every group of people talking, finding a way to come together. Let's not allow the issues of insecurity become we versus them, because the bandits can attack everybody. The bandits know very well that in Kaduna, if you attack some part, you will provoke a religious feeling. If you attack another part, you do the same. So we know that and understand the pattern of the bandit. Since our leaders are refusing to unite us, we are finding a way to unite ourselves. If we truly unite and get to understand each other, we will do. I can share this to the public that about a month ago or so, the leaders of Mieti Allah reached out to us and said, what do we do? And I told them, brothers, we have to come together. We have to work together and find a way out for Kaduna State. Everybody in Kaduna and all political parties belong to Kaduna people. So we don't care about political party's name, but we care about Kaduna State, and we have to work to salvage Kaduna. And I know that that effort is going. I was even in Zaria on Thursday to meet stakeholders in Zaria. I had conversation with them. We are making effort to talk to each other. Let's not jump into accusing each other because of the mistake of another person. Let's unite and fight one common area of challenge, that is leaders not leading the way they're supposed to lead.
So in all of this, you keep saying something, and I'd like you to clarify. Because the governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, said he was frustrated, and that was when he talked about using mercenaries. But you keep saying he's a spokesperson for the bandits. What do you mean by that?
Well, you see, when the governor came out and said that they will use mercenaries, Kaduna State was the first to come out and said no to that even idea. In the first place, constitutionally, he has no right to bring in mercenaries. The mistake he did in the past by bringing foreign or by paying foreigners is what we are paying dearly now. So why would he bring another group? Who knows them? What kind of negotiation he is going to go into with them that they will come and fight these bandits? Will they not fight these bandits, and after these bandits are defeated, they become the next generation of bandits that will terrorize and torment Kaduna people? So we don't need that. He does not even have that constitutional right to even say that. And when you look at the way he was saying it, as if he was threatening federal government, you see, I find it difficult to understand how a governor would just threaten the whole government as if he owns the country. But this is Nigeria, where those we have elected assume they were the ones who kept us, instead of knowing that we gave them appointment later. I think we must help Nigerian leaders to begin to respect the citizens, the people who gave them the mandate, not they themselves thinking that we should be worshiping them. If not, people will learn to speak, will not learn to speak kindly, will not learn to speak respectfully, will not even learn to listen to advice. They will think that what they know is. So the whole concept and idea and suggestion of bringing mercenaries constitutionally is not mandated to do that, and secondly, he's wrong to have said that, and thirdly, we know he had ever tried something near that and it backfired. So why should we believe him bringing? And it is almost an election year. How do we understand that he will bring mercenaries that will not turn out to be mercenaries for political activities? Because this is why we did not bring them when we had no election before us to fight this bandit. It is now we're almost aiming towards election. So I can ask 1,001 questions because I don't even understand why. So when I say that he's a spokesman for them, in the past, anytime, either Sukapu, either Khan, other elders, any group, look, Briningwali elders, when kidnapping was rampant in Briningwali, came out and cried forth. They accused the elders and insulted them as if they have no right to speak. So it's not just one side he is doing that. That's why we feel that if a leader who's supposed to, because what we expect of our governor at that time is to say, bandit, you cannot be terrorizing my people. I will not take it. I will do everything within my power to expose bandit, to stop this evil you are doing. But he was now blaming people for crying because bandit attacked them. If he blames us for crying because we are killed, he blames us for crying because our farms we cannot go to our farmland, he blames us for crying because we are kidnapped, then what is he? If we look for the title that fits him and we don't find, we may think that he has actually been appointed by the bandits as a spokesperson. And that's why I suggested he's actually the spokesperson of the bandit, because if you Google back, you will find out that our governor has spoken for the bandits more than speaking for the people he's governing.
Well, Reverend, I now understand better your point about, the people are thirsty, give them water to drink. But you see, the Nigerian Christian community, we've heard some Christians, including the governor of Benue State, saying that, look, the people should defend themselves, that people should resort to self-help, and that nobody should wait and allow, their families and relatives to be attacked. How about the Christian doctrine of turning the other cheek? Because because what we were taught, in church was that, if your enemy slaps you, you turn the other cheek. But it looks like that part of the doctrine has been abandoned now. Some people are saying, no, in Nigeria, that section of the doctrine does not apply anymore. Don't turn the other cheek. You to slap back. Well,
no, I think, Abati, we must not twist the Bible because of events in Nigeria.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't say you are misinterpreting, but probably your understanding may be different from how I understand. You see, my understanding of the scripture is that Jesus Christ in his teaching said that if you are hit on this cheek, turn the other cheek. But listen, just hold on. If you turn the other cheek and the other cheek is hit, which one will you turn? You have no cheek to turn. So what Jesus was simply teaching is extreme patience. In every situation you have, show extreme patience. It's the patience that makes you give another cheek. But when you show extreme patience and the patient has reached where you can no longer be patient, what do? You see, the requirement or the doctrine of self-defense is constitutionally acceptable, it's naturally acceptable, it's also acceptable even in the United Nations law. So I don't see a problem with self-defense. The only thing I do know is that the Constitution of Nigeria also do not provide that people should just hold weapons anyhow. The Constitution requires that if people must hold weapons, they will have a certain degree of licensed weapon. If I am with my wife in my house today and a criminal comes to attack my wife, I don't think I need to call one governor, I need to call one police commissioner, I need to call one SS director to defend my wife from that criminal. I'm going to show the criminal that this woman you are seeing is not alone. She has a husband who loves her and cherishes her. And I'm going to deal with him. If I die, I die protecting my wife. Yeah, so what we are simply saying is that we have been turning cheeks. If you're talking about turning cheeks in Nigeria, I think the Christian communities have become turning cheeks as another new name for us. We've turned it. But the situation we have is that the criminal is no longer slapping us on our cheek. The criminal is even has pushed us to the wall, and there is no wall on the other side for us to go. The criminal have not just been pushing us to the wall, the criminal is bringing a dagger and is going to hit our head with the dagger, which shows that that is the end of life. If we are human, There is nowhere in the scripture that says that we should just leave our head for the criminal to cut off our neck because we are Christians. I think that is where I don't understand that interpretation, because even Jesus, when he asked his disciples not to have a sword, but when the time came, he told them to sell what they have and buy a sword. So there will always be a time that you will defend yourself. It shouldn't be your attitude of fighting every day, but there's always going to be a time you will. And if the situation in Nigeria calls for it, I join others to say, let's do it. After all, Governor Masari also said so. But when he was saying that, and I came here to your studio and I said we should ask him the question, how many people in his state have license gone? We've seen a situation in southern Kaduna where when there is an attack and our youths are angry and they come out to pursue those who attack them, that's when the military will appear. And when the military appear, they will now arrest those boys with den guns and their cutlasses and their knives and say that they've arrested gun runners. And that's the kind of story all media will be carrying. Well, the real criminal who killed their parents, killed their siblings, burnt their houses have disappeared and nobody went after him. That is the kind of confusion we are having with this issue. But I must say, we cannot continue to leave people cutting our necks and we die, just keep burying numbers. I've buried so many people. I've been to many mass burial, and I'm not happy about it. If there's any way we can do to stop it, let's do. But I know that there's one thing we will do. If there is a good working relationship between security agencies, government, and the people, we can together defeat this enemy. But if others are feeling that, no, you have no role to play, just allow us to do it, but they're killing us, then something is wrong with that kind of idea.
Well, on that note, we would like to thank you very much, Reverend Hayab, for joining us this morning on The Morning Show. Thank you very much indeed.